Hello, it's Jeanette with Amazing Paper Crafts. I'm back with another video tutorial, and this is a little box that I'm going to show you how I made. Look how pretty that is with the scalloped edge lid and the embossing. Isn't that pretty? And it's kind of an all occasions box. You can make it for a wedding, shower, baby shower. You know, you can even make it a little seasonal, seasonably festive, like that one here with the little poinsettia on it. And inside this box, it's sized perfectly for a little Ferrero Rocher, one Ferrero Rocher. So it's kind of like an economical way to do your party favors. But let me show you how easy it is to put this box together. You're going to need a piece of cardstock that measures 3 15/16. Okay, now on my cutter here, this is my my Stampin' trimmer. You're going to go to the 4-inch and move one little notch over, and that is 3 15/16. Okay, and you need that size so it'll fit perfectly with that lid. So, and then you're going to also need a piece of cardstock for the lid, and that is going to measure 3 1/4 square. Okay, so this is 3 15/16 square. This one is 3 1/4 square. And the first thing I'm going to do is cut this, cut the lid out. And to do that, I'm going to be using our Layering Squares Framelits. Now these framelits come without the scallops, and they come with the scallops. So I am going to use the largest square with the scallops to make the scalloped edge. Of course, I'm sure you figured that out already. So I'm going to take this to the big shop, but let me bring in my magnetic platform to show you what my sandwich is going to be. It's going to be the magnetic platform, my well-loved cutting plate rather, and then I'm just going to put this on here, let the magnets hold it down. And I'm going to take this to the big shot, and I will be right back. Okay. Now it makes this really cute frame. You could probably use that on a card too. So save it if you want to. If you want to be frugal. Okay, let me put this back here. I just put it on a little piece of magnet so that I don't lose them all, and they're not flopping all over the place. And we'll put that away. Okay, the next thing I want to do is do all of my scoring on both the bottom and the top, and I'm going to bring my Simply Scored scoring tool in, and we will do the top first. All right, now I'm going to bring it in, and I'm going to score the top at 2 1/4 all the way around. Now you might wonder, why am I doing it instead of doing it here with this narrow? It's because it's kind of weird the way this score line falls. It's just a little bit too wide, so it makes a little bit too big if I score it like at 3/4 of an inch, because it's just, this piece is just not quite a perfect measurement. So scoring it at 2 1/4 all the way around is worked out for me so that the lid fits nice and snug, or very close to snug. So all the way around 2 1/4 inch. Okay, and now for the bottom, we're going to be scoring this at 1 1/4 all the way around. Incidentally, I don't think I told you what the box measures. It does measure about 1/4 inch square all the way around. Well, I mean 1 1/4 inch square all the way around. That would be kind of small if it was just 1/4, but it is 1 1/4 inch square all the way around. So I am scoring this at 1 1/4 all the way around. And let's put this box together now. Put this away, and we'll put the bottom together because it's real easy and it's real quick. I'm going to take my bone folder, and I'm going to fold and score all of my score lines. Fold and burnish all of my score lines. Okay. Very good. And then I'm going to go and cut into these score lines. Now I'm going to cut on either side of the score line, and you can notch in if you want. I'm going to just notch very, very thin, basically cutting that score line off. And then I'm going to turn, and then I'm going to do the same thing, cutting the score line off, And then I'm going to turn, do the same thing. Turn and do the same thing. Okay, now I'm going to go in the front, and I'm just going to snip these little tabs off that I made when I cut into the score line. And that's so that it looks nice and neat from the outside and there's no jagged edges. Okay, let's get rid of our little trash here. And we'll put this box together. I'm going to bring in my silicone craft sheet. And I'm going to be using some of our fast fuse. And you really only need to use fast fuse on these outer edges here. So I'm just going to put a little bit of fast fuse there. I'm going to turn it, put a little fast fuse there, just on that outer edge. Okay, turn. All right, now we'll just put our box together very quickly. Okay, all of the edges kind of line up on top, which is kind of nice. And there you have it. Bottom part of the box is done. Okay, and now I am not going to be burnishing these lines yet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this to the Big Shot with an embossing folder, and the embossing folder that I chose is called Elegant Dots. Okay, and with the Sizzix, with me looking at the word Sizzix and Stampin' Up, I am going to place this with the foil side up and just kind of try to center it where I want it to be, so that we kind of have even a little bit over. Okay. It looks pretty good to me. So I'm going to bring in my new platform here. This is Stampin' Up's new platform for the Big Shot. This is an adapter for your thin dies, and I don't need the adapter because I'm going to be embossing. So I'm just going to be using just the platform by itself. I love this thing because the one I got with my Big Shot machine was huge and it was very, very clumsy. So I really like that we can have something that's a little bit more user-friendly. So this is my sandwich with the embossing folder and the paper between the embossing folder, and I'm going to take this to the Big Shot, and I will be right back. Okay. So you might think that you can't see the lines anymore, but you really can. I can see them. You probably aren't going to be able to see those score lines that I made, but I can see them just fine, and I'm just going to gently fold on the score line on all 4 of these lines. Okay, now the reason why I didn't fold before is because I didn't want to mess up the embossing. It just looks better when you fold afterward. But you can try folding, before you emboss. It's up to you. But I found it to be a little bit neater folding it afterward. And I'm not using my bone folder. I'm just kind of gently folding because I don't really want a whole lot of cracks in this foil, because this foil, it's a very thin layer, and you can actually scratch it off. Okay, so let me go with my scissors, and what I'm going to do is kind of the same thing that I did on the bottom. I'm going to cut on either side of the score line, but I'm also going to do something else. I am going to also cut off this little scallop on the edge. And the reason I do that is because if I didn't, that scallop would interfere with the other scallops that I have on the edge. So I just want to cut those off. So once again, okay, I have cut on either side of my score line here. I'm turning it. I'll cut that little scallop off. I turn, and then I go and cut here, cut on the other side of my score line, and then I'm cutting this little corner scallop off, just like that, that little row of scallops there. And then I'm going to turn and do the same thing. Actually, this is the first time I ever used the silver foil, but I think it works just fine, just like it did with the gold foil. They're kind of the same, just one's gold, one's silver. Okay, and we're cutting that off. Okay, and then I'm going to turn it this way so that I can also very gently cut off these little tabs that I made, those little scores that I cut off. You can kind of see what I'm doing here, right? I hope there's not too much glare with this silver, but I chose the silver because I have some ribbon, and it's not Stampin' Up! Ribbon, but it's some really pretty ribbon for the design that I want. And I'll show you. I'll show you this really pretty ribbon. I'm going to be putting that on the top of it. See how that's going to look really pretty? But we'll put that together in a minute. I'm going to be putting some fast fuse on each of these tabs, and I know that it's raised, so I'm going to make sure I put a couple of rows of fast fuse on here. Make sure that it lays, and hang on to those tabs because they are fragile, and fast fuse is very strong. You don't want to pull off the tabs when you... Okay, I think we got it now. And so now let's put our box together. Okay, and there's a little trick that I learned from Sam Donald from Poodles Paper Crafts, and she actually puts the lid on the box to make sure that it's snug. Wasn't that a clever idea of hers? So I put my lid on the box like that, just to make sure that it is going to be snug all the way around. And that really, really is helpful, and I really want to thank Sam for doing that. She is just a wonderful paper crafter from the UK, and if you've ever watched any kind of video for paper crafting, you already know who Sam is. She is very, very popular. Okay, so anyway, see how nice that fits, nice and snug? Okay, so you're going to put your Ferrero Rocher in there, and you can decorate it any way you want to. And I'm going to be using a glue dot to put my little ribbon on. And I'm going to use my paper piercing tool to pick that little glue dot up, and I'm going to put it on the back side here. And if I probably should use two ribbons. I mean, two pieces of glue dot, not two ribbons. I've got a double ribbon here that I used. That it's called the double fork bow ribbon, a bow rather. I'm not really good at making them, but I thought this would be really pretty with that perfect plum paper that I used here. And of course, like I said, you can decorate them for any occasion. Okay, see how I have all of these here? Aren't they all so pretty? And all of them will have a Ferrero Rocher in them. I love these boxes. So easy and so quick to make. And I hope that you like them too, and I hope that you will try this. If you need any of the tools and the supplies that I used in this video, just go to my website at www.geamazingpapercrafts.stampinup.net, and I'd be happy to be your demonstrator if you don't already have one. So once again, I'm Jeanette with Geamazing Paper Crafts, and you make it a great day. Bye-bye.